I've always said I believed he would come back. So I'm not surprised at that. What has caught me off guard, as many of us, because a lot of us are away, we're on holiday, doing all, because it's that time of year. It's a strange time to suddenly get this big announcement. I think that's what's caught us off guard. It's the speed. It's how quick. I mean, he's arriving apparently next week, if not already here. That's extraordinary. That's what's really catching everyone off guard. It hasn't worked for them, basically, in the States. That's one view, is that they've gone to a point and they feel they can go no further. And so the only option is to return home. That's what I think one of the main reasons is. The other reason is that's very much kind of getting discussed. Is it because he wants to be near his father for obvious reasons? With everything going on with the father, you're wondering, does he want to be near his dad, basically? I know there's lots of speculation, and I'm not jumping in on that. All I'm saying is that when you have a loved one, or loved ones that have been through different things to do with health and all sorts of other things, it makes you wonder if he just wants to be closer. And he's made some extraordinary statements about that. And obviously, that's where we're all drawing conclusions, which I don't think. I just think can I say he was a daddy's boy? He was very much a daddy's boy. And that was very clear to see when I was there. The relationship, everyone goes on about William and the King's relationship. Harry had an extraordinary relationship with his dad, a very close relationship. I think one part will be obviously happy from, let's face it, he's going to get to see his grandkids. That's really important to him. Family's important, to the late Queen. I think the other side, it's going to be really difficult because you've got the advisors who are probably saying to be careful, let's face it, with everything that's happened. And he has to listen to them because they're there to try to keep him right. You've got his other son who will probably be not over the moon about this news at all and will probably be extremely worried about the reasoning behind it or if there's other motives behind it. And then you've also got the king probably also thinking, wanting to spend time with them and all this. But there's again rumours about TV shows and all sorts going on. Does that mean they're going to be doing a TV show and then you're going to go and see his dad and they're going to sit down and talk about that conversation? That is a reality. Now, that is something that they will all be thinking. So I think, as I said, I think he'll be in two minds about it. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's not happy about it, but I think there'll definitely be caution. Absolutely be caution.
How do you think William will be feeling having heard this news?
Okay, one word, furious. That's what I honestly believe. Absolutely think he will be furious. I think because we've seen all the videos, the clips of Harry going for his new life in the States, doing that division. He said some extraordinary things about the family. And William is somebody that when you break trust, you go beyond a certain point, there's no coming back. So William would have said, you know what, he's 6,000 miles away. It's not my problem. He's in another country, all this. Suddenly, he's back on the doorstep. Not only the doorstep, again, going by reports, he's going to be in the area. He's going to be next to daddy's house, kind of thing. So that's obviously what they're saying. So that'll be on his mind. And I just don't think he's going to be happy about this situation at all. I really don't.
And and what was the relationship between William and Harry?
That's the sad bit. Absolutely. I mean, it was very much big brother, little brother. One used to keep Harry right, and Harry was always a bit more of the practical joker, the bit of the, can I say, the let's face it, the loose cannon, but in a nice way. Did his thing and did what he wanted and had a great time. And his brother was with him, he supported him, and sometimes he would bring him back down to ground because that's what the bigger brother does. But the relationship between them was really good. And can I just say, between the father and stepmother, despite what's been said, as Queen Elizabeth once said, recollections do vary or differ, and that's absolutely true because my memory of that family was a very close, happy family. Harry's memory, but then so I think my version's true because if it was that bad as he said, why would you be coming back and why would you be trying to patch things up? Why would he now openly say he wants to fix things with his family if it was really that bad? You wouldn't.
Meghan, how do you think she will adapt to being back in the UK?
I think she'll hate it. I honestly, because she didn't like, from what we understand and from the way it's come across, she didn't like. I'm not saying she doesn't like visiting the UK. I don't think she liked, let's face it, there are many reasons. The weather, maybe the cultural differences. She's close to her mother, who's obviously an issue. Her mum's going to come over, her mum's back home. So I think it's going to be a really difficult move for Meghan. And I'm wondering Do you think Harry gave him the ultimatum? Let's just say, going by the reports that Harry wants to be near his father because of what's going on in his father's life, and maybe Harry suddenly woke up one morning and thought, "I need to be with my dad in this part of his life. I need to be with him." And he, for all we know, and this is complete me guessing, he could have turned around to Meghan and gave her the ultimatum: "Come with me or stay." Because I don't think Harry was going to stay. I think Harry was going to leave. I I think it was as simple as that. I think Catherine would also be concerned about the situation. I do think she'll be concerned. I don't think she'll be jumping around with joy at the news. I think she's a very diplomatic lady. I think what she'll be doing is trying to be peacemaker and trying to look at the positives out of the situation and trying to, obviously, I'm guessing, reassure William in the whole situation. I think she's the one that would be the peacemaker between both the families. I've always said that with Christmases and birthdays, if cards and message exchanged, it'll be between the ladies, believe it or not. That's what I think, despite what's been said. I think Kate's very gracious. She's got such a nice way about her. She's not malicious or anything. So I think she would do everything. She'll rise above it, which Roy's very good at. She'll rise above it. And I think she will, if there's any communication, I think she'll be behind it. Not saying that she's jumping around, as I said about it. I think she'll just be very realistic about it and think, this is how it's going to be. We need to put the best foot forward and try to make it work. Time is a healer. That's a fact. Absolute fact. Even look at the Duke of Windsor. Obviously, when he left the country, he never came back actually, but Queen Elizabeth still allowed him to have a ceremonial funeral, not a state funeral, but a ceremonial funeral, which was obviously through her approval. Despite everything that happened, the Queen Mother was there. You saw them with Wallace Simpson. The reason I'm saying this, we know how awful that was and how difficult. We don't personally, but we've heard about it. And what I'm trying to say is time absolutely changes things. Look at Queen Camilla. The people, there's a general like for Camilla now. So time does change things. So I think it's totally possible, but I don't know if it could ever go back to how it was. That's the bit I don't know. I think it's possible, of course it's possible. I just think there's a lot to get through between here and the future. There's a lot to get through. Who knows? Maybe the king will help bring the brothers together. Maybe he will facilitate dinners or lunches or get-togethers and insist that they're all together. And it's almost banging everyone's heads together. Not that it's anyone. I'm not trying to say it's. You can understand why William and Catherine probably are not over the moon about being in a room with them and Queen Camilla. But Queen Camilla's done it. She was there at the Highgrove meeting. She turned up. They are able to rise above it, which is what they're very good at.
And what do you think Harry needs to do from his side to build relations again?
Do nothing. And in the nicest way, no television, no tell-all books, no tell-all documentaries. If he goes along the line of working on his charities, supporting his charities, doing work around that, fair enough. He's got to work. What's he gonna do? Go and work in the local Tesco? He's got to have some sort of a role and a job. He's a public figure, and as such, we can use that for good through his Invictus games as well. So I think if they focus on that, and it's almost like, I've always called them royal celebrities. That's, let's face it, that's what they are. The royal all in everything they do, the way they, of course they are, even though they're non-working royals. So I think they could build up something quite unique. I think they could get back into favour. Doesn't mean to say that they'll suddenly be given royal duties, but we might then get to see them with the family again. So I think they could build up quite a successful and a brand. Everyone goes on about, oh, it's wrong about the brand. Let's face it, King Charles has a brand. Royal is a brand, whether they like it or not. It is a brand. It's a massive brand. It's probably one of the biggest brands in the planet. And Harry and Meghan are part of that. And so I don't have personally any issue with them doing what they're doing as long as it's done in the right way. Look, it's completely possible that she wants to go back into acting. Maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe she wants to carry on in that role. And I don't think the royal family would have an issue with that because it's a good job, but it's something she was good at. I think she was good at it. For her to focus on that, focus on his charity, and then do the other thing together, I think that's what would be acceptable to the royal family. I really do. I think they think, you know what? They're both doing their own thing. She's gone back into acting. He's focusing on his charity and his Invictus games. That's the way they could slowly maybe build up favour again, very slowly. But I've always said it's the actions they can say all this, they can give it the talk, they can say this, they can say what they want. It's what they do in their actions is what the royal family and their advisors will be watching.